welcome to NWA Power, and I believe this is Season 6, Episode 3, but I'm probably going to use Episode 41 instead of Season 6, Episode 3 in my title. I don't know yet. I might. I'm not sure yet. But we got a very interesting show. And this show has taken the bad taste out of my mouth of what happened with NXT 2.0. I'll leave a link below so you can watch my somewhat of a review of it. And I got to say this about one of the people who I know this is NWA, this is Power, I am going to focus on it, but I got to say this about one of the people who left comments on my video. This person who left a comment on my video was so happy that it is just so sad to see someone wrapped around someone's finger, that there's so much up someone's butt, as they say, and not just wrapped around someone's finger, they can't see what's in front of them. Because this person, he pretty much made it very clear, I am so happy that Vince took over NXT. He's going to make it so much better. All those indie guys are gone, and we'll grow our own people. I got this to say to you, and you know who you are. I don't need to say your name, but I got to say this to you. Simply, you seem to know so much about WWE. Let's see how good your memory really is. It's been 10 years, 2011 to 2021. Every single time we have gone through this, where Vince made an adjustment, started trying to change everything up, from 2011 to 12 to 13 to 14 to 15. He kept changing everything over and over again. Every year, supposedly we're going to try something new. And where did it get us? Nowhere. You want to know how this got us absolutely nowhere? For those 10 years, not counting this year yet, every year, every single year. Tell me, you want total proof to see that Vince doesn't give a damn? SmackDown. Simple as this. When did SmackDown ever win the 10-on-10 men's elimination at Survivor Series? I'll give you some time to think about it. You got a few more seconds. Time's up. They never won. Vince, you want to see how he could actually make things better? He's never let SmackDown win once. That elimination, 10-man elimination at Survivor Series. Not once did SmackDown ever win. You got people who made a point. You got people who made something, but they've never won. Raw has always won. Now you're going to say, well, I'm a fanboy of Raw. Nope. It just shows Vince doesn't give a damn. And this fool who thinks, oh, this is all Triple H's fault because the Wednesday Night War was his fault. Boy, you really don't know anything. Because when it comes down to it, Triple H was ordered to go on to USA, knowing full well he was going to lose. There is no way he didn't know. Now, I just said and exorcise my demon, baby. Let's get to NWA. I'm sorry this took so long, but I got to do it because sometimes people who really think they know so damn much, they don't know a damn thing. So, what did we get in this NWA Power Review? A lot of interesting stuff. Opening, which I felt out of all the interviews, I'm not going to cover them all. I'm not covering any other interviews. I'm just going to cover this one. When it came to Murdoch and Nick Aldis, this was the most emotional promo I've seen in a long time. Now, it's not the fact that both these guys broke down and cried. It was the fact that this felt important and relevant. You got two guys who was trained by Harley Race, one before the other. Trevor Murdoch at one point was working for the WWE, and as you heard on this video, when you hear it, how can I describe this? Trevor puts over Nick Aldis. He calls him out and he puts him over and said, look, brother, Me and you went to war. We had to do whatever we need to do. But I remember Harley always telling me what it takes to be a he pretty much says in Harley's voice, "You did good, kid." Because he told him in his own office that what it takes to be a champion is that you must do whatever it takes to make the title mean something. Not the title makes you. You make the title, and Nick Aldis, for real, for almost 3 years, has held that title and has made it as relevant as possible. No one would have cared as much for the NWA if Nick had not been doing his work. So I give Nick 100% props. If he goes to AEW, stays in NWA, he's earned total respect. Then Nick talked. At the time, at 2007, he says this skinny ass kid decides to take 30 quid a week. In other words, like about nearly $30, $35, counting on inflation, from English pound money to American dollars, say about $30, $40. He saved this money, came to America, and started training at his own training center for... I think the thing that gets me, that's hard for me to say this, is because I remember Harley Race. I was never a big fan of him, but I always did like him. And seeing that he honestly was holding back emotion. This wasn't just acting. These guys legitimately was showing some level of emotion. Now, in wrestling, you have to learn how to relate emotion to people. This is something that they don't do very well on the roster of WWE. No matter if it's Raw, SmackDown, and now NXT is about to end up like that. Here you can feel it. Even with a small crowd, you can feel the relevance of it. And he made it very clear. I came to Harley Race's training school, but the most interesting thing that happened to me was a guy who was in WWE at the time, who was a tag champion, decided to come there and talk with me and give me knowledge. And that was Trevor Murdoch. And I will always respect you for that. And he puts him over, saying clearly, this is your time. As you gave me time, I'm giving you time, and I'm stepping back from this. But remember, you need to do what is necessary for this damn title. You need to make it mean something. You got to make it mean what it is. The most prestigious title that exists. This is something you don't hear from WWE. They say it's the most prestigious title from the commentators and sometimes the wrestlers, but they never make it feel like anything. Zero. And I'm not an NXT fanboy. I stopped watching the damn thing almost 4.5 years ago. 4 years ago. Roughly 4. But at least I can remember when the people talk about it, you can honestly see emotion on the damn face. They care about the damn thing. The only person that's doing it in the main roster is Roman Reigns. Don't know about Biggie Langston yet. And I'm calling him Biggie Langston because he ain't going to last long. The boy is going to get ousted within 3 to 4 months. I say 3 months max, but he could go to 4. There you go. Now we had one of the tag team tournaments. Quarterfinals, not semifinal, quarterfinals. We got the Rude Dudes versus Cradles, and it's not the point the match was bad. It wasn't. Stevens and Cradles did fine. They won, but it was the interview. And I got to do this one interview about it. Because Cradles made it very clear that he's not leaving Stevens. He's not. Now, we noticed that for months, that he could have already walked away or started a feud with him. He chose not to. He won him over. Cradles got won over by Stevens months ago, which I'm fine with. And when it comes to this interview, he made it very clear, I am from somewhere where we don't just back off from somebody that we respect. That is a brother. And he told him, I got your back, but I know there's something in you that you don't want to bring out. That you hold something in. It's time to bring that damn thing out and stop acting like you're nothing. You're something. I always got your back. And once Cradles walks away and makes it very clear that he cares legitimately about Stevens. What did Aaron Stevens do? He said, the last time someone talked to me like that was Killer Kowalski, my original trainer, who has passed away. He didn't say that. I'm just saying it because Killer Kowalski has passed away like Harley Race. He says, I got a lot of soul searching to do. I respect that. This is where one problem the NWA has that I can't stand. Fuck NWA. Why don't they ever have backstage video packs? Why does it have to be at the damn podium? Why does it have to be with Kyle Davis or Mae Valentine? Why can't they have their moment in the back at least once? Once a month they do it with somebody to make it special for one wrestler or tag team in the back once a month. Not once every time, just once. I really believe that's a wasted opportunity. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Now, we had the tag team of... No, I'm not going to do that next. Let's do the Marty Bell versus Paula... I said there was something about Pola. And what was the name? Pola. I think the reason I'm talking so much about Blaze is that I felt something from her. Paula Blaze has something, but I don't know what it is. It's because it's not wrestling. She's not a bad wrestler, but there's something there. I just know there's something there. I just don't know what it is. Is it the red hair? No. Is it a nice curvy body? She's damn good looking. Who wouldn't want her? Who wouldn't want to wish that she would want to be with you? But it's not that either. I don't know what it is yet. Now, it was an okay match. Marty Bell won. But here was the thing that got me, because you got Melina at not ringside, but she's on commentary. Fine. She didn't talk very much. It was still about Velvet doing her work and commentary. But then you have Camille come out, hearing a Velvet guy say, Jesus! Running her ass off, and basically, as you see in my face, both shots, Melina getting ass whooped. I didn't expect that. Now, of course, we knew eventually it was going to happen, but I didn't expect it to happen now. That's just me. You guys see below. Now, we got, number one contenders match. Clearwater versus Plunkett versus Ion. Now, here's where it gets very interesting. You had three managers. And two of those three managers worked together with an entire group. But in this situation, they were broken up. You got Danny Deals working with Plunkett. You got Clearwater, who has Black G's. And then you have Ion working with Idol. And it's like, this is a very rare situation where you see more than one manager. We got three. And you would think they do something extra. And eventually happened because Ion started getting the edge over Plunkett and Clearwater. And once he started going to the half crab and then a full Boston crab, you can see in my face that the Idol decides he's got to do something about it. And he's got something loaded in his hand and hits him in the face. And then Clearwater wins. And now Clearwater is going after the TV title. I didn't say that in early, but as you can see, Tyrus, he's going after Tyrus now, which is somebody that's in his own staple. This is where it gets a little confusing when it comes to Black G's and Clearwater. What do we really get? Because when you see this match, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. Particularly that we know Clearwater is not going to do the finger poke of doom for a Tyrus. Because if he was, Black G's would have done it. But Black G's wanted that damn title, so he fought him. So I don't expect Clearwater to job when they finally have the match, because next week is going to be Power Surge, so we're not going to actually see the match. We'll see something, but I don't think it's going to be the match. But still, I mean, it's very confusing. And then you see Ion, who you wonder where they're going with Ion. I'm very confused, but I'm very curious. Now, it's for real. I believe that's the title I'm using. Or it's real. A slap match. Now, just in case no one's ever seen this before, because it looks like it's ordinary. No. As far as I remember, when I saw this, because I saw this months ago on Facebook, because I've never heard about it. It seems in Russia, Soviet Union, somebody decided to try and make a competition out of slapping somebody. Now, I don't know how long it's been around, maybe a couple of decades. You never know. It could be recent, about 2 or 3 years ago, or several decades old. I've never heard about it. Now, maybe one of you have, but I never did. In this situation, two guys stand together. They have their hands behind their back, one of them. The other one, if they're really doing it properly, would have some powder in his hand, some chalk. So when he hits him, he won't do so much severe damage, which I've seen they still do. And he lines them up to the face each time to get a good gauge of where he wants to hit him. And then smacks him like a bitch. I've also seen women do it. And shit, man, that is not a joke. When you hit someone hard enough, you can knock their ass out with a smack. I've never known a person to get knocked out clearly by a smack. Now, I've known it's possible to really knock some teeth loose from a smack. I've actually seen it when I was very young. But I've never known that you can knock a person out with a smack. That's what I seen on Facebook. So here was very interesting. I was going like, oh, serious? They're actually going to do a smack match or smack fight? You got Jax Dean putting his hand behind his back. You got Crimson putting his hand behind his back. The first person to do it was Dean to Crimson. Dean chalked up his hand, lined them up, and I believe I got a shot of him in my face. He smacked the hell out of Crimson. And then Crimson had to take a moment to gather himself, because when this type of situation happens, you are given a moment to gather yourself, because you could be stunned or made loopy, and if you can continue, the smacking continues. Then Jax Dean did it. Jax Dean looked like he got dazed. He's in my face. I believe I got a shot of it. He looked dazed as fuck for a moment, because this wasn't a joke. Guys, they smacked each other extremely hard to make this look right. And I commend them for doing it. If they'd done half-ass light smacks, this would not work. This segment wouldn't have worked at all. So I was really interested in seeing how far they were going to go with this. But by the second smack going into the third, when Jax Dean was going to go back to Crimson, because Crimson got hit first, Jax Dean got hit next, so Jax Dean was going to do it back. You got literally, Joe was getting really into it. You got Velvet, like she said, it is like a train wreck. I can't watch this, but I can't look away. She made this, to a good point, interesting. Even Tim Storm was like, shit. But Jax Dean decided to kick Crimson, then hit him in the face. And that's when the brawl started for everybody, going into episode 42 or season 6, episode 4 of NWA Power. Everyone came out that is involved in the tournament, that is involved with any type of storylines. It's just the way it is. Everyone came out in one big schmoz and started fighting one another, which was okay. I'm not saying I like it every single time, but in this situation, since we normally don't see it for NWA, it was all right. It's going to depend on what they're going to be booking on the next episode, because Power Surge is next week. And normally don't really show any really major changes. They just give you a lot of content. Maybe they will give you one match, but generally speaking, it's nothing really serious. Now, was this a good episode of Power? Yes, it was. The smack, put it in my face again, of these two standing looking at each other. This was good. I loved it. The physicality of it, and trying to embarrass one another. Now, do I wish it had lasted longer than just 2 smacks? Hell yes, I do. But it could be understandable, because, look guys, when they do that type of shit, they will fuck each other up. They can give each other, they can knock each other out. And if they're going to try and go by some type of story, they can't go further than maybe 3 or 4 slaps. So they just did 2, and then they just went to the story of how Dean screwed over Crimson, and Crimson wants to humiliate Dean, period. He doesn't care. He wants to humiliate him, and they're going to keep their feud. Now, this was a good story. This was a good episode. It wasn't perfect. Mind you, it was not perfect. But I did enjoy it. The thing that did get me a problem was the fans were just not loud enough. And it's understandable. There wasn't that many fans in there, but come on, they could have cheered a little louder. The audio work was not very good. There was some problems. And even though Marty Bell and Paul and Blaze did have a couple of ass shots, and I did see a little bit of cleavage of a Marty Bell, that's not really great, but they're not great when it comes to their production value. Like most other promotions, they make mistakes. But I will give them that this was a good show. I did enjoy it. And the smacking I wish went beyond too, but I can understand why they didn't do it. But it's just me, and I hope you enjoyed this NWA Power. I believe I'm going to make it episode 41. I don't think I'm going to do season 6, episode 3. But give me a comment below. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.